like to welcome you to my brand new channel. So I thought I would hit it off by doing a nursing video and how I got into nursing school after having a 1.9 GPA. So when I had first started thinking about going to college, I was about 17, 18 years old, and I had already known where I wanted to go to school. Like, I had put everything on the line for the school. I made sure I was getting the right SAT scores, ACT scores. I was making sure I was in the right area, percentile for my class to be able to get into this school. And I was always doing extracurriculars. I was doing soccer, everything I could possibly do to make sure I got into this school. So I eventually did, and it was the best day ever. I had already known that I wanted to go to school, pre-nursing, get into nursing school. I had everything planned out for me. So I graduated high school, I went to orientation in Texas, and then I ended up moving down there in August during the fall semester. And it was a really big change for me because I had grown up in Chicago, and being able to just get up and move and get up and go out to Texas was so scary. And I went all by myself. I had no parents, I had no family down there. I didn't even know one person where I was going. So I moved down there and I loved it. I loved the friends I was making. I was loving everything. But the problem is that I was probably finding too much fun in college and not enough study time. So what I had struggled with was I was having trouble transitioning from high school onto college or onto university life. Being with parents that, cooked for me, cleaned for me, helped me out financially, to moving down to Texas where I had none of that. I had to work for myself. They helped me a little bit, or as much as they could at that point. And being alone, I had to cook, clean for myself, and I had no one just breathing down my neck. So at that point, I had really, really enjoyed myself in college. But like I said, if I had a degree and partying and all that other stuff, I probably would have gotten it. But the first semester it was okay. I did mediocre. I had fallen under the 2.0 mark. I think I had gotten like a 1.8 my first semester. And I had just felt so bad about myself. And it wasn't that I was trying hard, because I wasn't trying at all. And it felt too hard for me. And I think that was the first time I had ever felt that way, because in high school things just came easy. So I really struggled through my first semester. It was a lot of failed classes, a lot of failed exams, a lot of feeling bad about myself. And the more I felt bad about myself, the more I just wanted to give up. And that's why when my report card came around, it ended up being a 1.8. So since I had fallen under the 2.0, I got put on academic probation. And I told myself, I'm like, well, I'm going to do better next semester, because there always is next semester. It was my first semester. It's going to be hard. So I had to retake a lot of my classes. I had to retake my chemistry class, my biology class, and there was some other classes I had to retake, plus other classes. And so I went into the first day of class, and I was like, I got this, I can do this. And the first 3 weeks were okay. I went to class, and when the first exams came, I couldn't do it. And it hurt so bad that I wasn't able to do the exams, that at that point, it was just like, I give up. Like, maybe college isn't for me, and maybe this is just not where I'm supposed to be. But I ended up continuing on my semester, and I rose my GPA to the 2.0 where it was supposed to be, so I was able to stay another semester. So over the summer, I had actually gotten books from the library, started studying and getting my act together, as you could say, and the third semester had came around. I went back to Texas, and I think that's when all hell broke loose. I had the first semester, it was too hard, and I felt like I couldn't do it. I had given up completely at this point. I think about midterms, I just stopped going to class, and I couldn't. For me, it was a struggle trying to balance everything I had, and exams were just so hard, and I couldn't figure out what I was trying to do. So by the time the third semester had ended, I remember I was sitting in Austin, and I was getting back on a flight to go back home, and I was just praying and praying that maybe my grades would be good enough that I could stay in college. And I had gotten my final back from my chemistry teacher, and it ended up being like a 59%, and I ended up getting a D in chemistry for the second time, which automatically meant that I would never get into a nursing program at their school. And on top of it, I had gotten academic suspension, which meant that I had to take an entire semester off of school to be able to go back. So that really, that was the most heartbreaking thing I think I ever saw. And I can still remember that day just sitting there, seeing my grades, and just thinking that, wow, I can't believe, this is actually happening. I thought maybe I could actually do this. I could be the first graduate in my family. And it didn't work. So what happened is I went home, and I didn't tell my parents. Could not tell them. I was like, I can't tell my parents I failed out of school, because they had this dream for me to go to school, and I ruined it, in 3 semesters. So I didn't tell them. I ended up going back to Texas with them thinking that I was still in school. And I just kept on my life. I got a job, I got an apartment, and I tried to keep my head up above the water as much as I could. And that was not good. So a year and a half go by, and I decided to come back home. And I decided, you know what, this is the time. I think I was 21 years old. I should just turn my life around. So after my 21st birthday, I ended up getting a job at Budding, which was this corporation that you pack lunch meat. And I can remember sitting there thinking, this cannot be how the rest of my life is going to go. Which, major props to people who work lines, because that is some really hard work. And I appreciate you guys so much, because I know that it's very long days and you're on your feet all day, and it's a lot of work. So for me personally, I couldn't see myself being there for the rest of my life. And so I wanted to help people, and that's always been my dream, is to be able to help people and encourage people and have people, succeed, even though I felt myself that I was never going to succeed. So what happened is I applied to be a flight attendant, and I ended up being a flight attendant for 3 years, and I can do a separate video on that, on how to become a flight attendant, how flight attendant interviews go, how it is being a flight attendant, the perks, anything like that. I can always put that in a separate video. But I did it for 3 years, and at one point it just wasn't fulfilling to me anymore. Yeah, all the traveling was fun, and I got to see things that I had never seen before. I got to travel, and it was awesome. But at the same time, I had felt in my heart that this was just not what I was meant to be for the rest of my life. I took those 3 years off. I decided to get my life back together. And right now, I was just like, well, I guess I got to go back to be a nurse, because that's what I went to school to begin with. So about, I want to say, August 2016, I enrolled in 2 classes online, and that was it. Just 2 classes. And I was like, okay, let me enroll myself in these 2 courses, and we'll see how it goes, basically. And I was still flying at this time, so it's like, I'm going to do online classes. We'll see how this goes. We'll figure it out. So I ended up getting 2 A's, which was in one of my hardest classes, which is English and writing, and one in college algebra. So after getting 2 A's, I felt really confident in myself, and I decided to take my transcript over to a school that I really wanted to get into, which is not too far from my house. And I went and I sat down with the admissions. Why can I not think of what the name was? I went and sat down with admissions, and I remember saying I had my last school's transcript, which was at a 1.9, and I had my new transcript with my 2 classes at a 4.0, and I was thinking oh, this makes it so much better. So I ended up going, and they sat down with me, and they were saying, you have, your GPA is not good. And I was like, well, yeah, I know, but look, I got a 4.0 last semester. And they're like, well, yeah, that is good, but you have these, I think I want to say, maybe, 4, 3, 12. I had about 16 classes left. Let's leave it at that. I had about 16 classes left, and what they had told me at this other school was, you're going to have to get a 4.0 for the rest of your undergrad, for the rest of your prereqs. A 4.0, that means that I had to get an A in chemistry, an A in biology, an A in micro, an A in English 2, an A in statistics, and I freaked out. I freaked out because I was like, you know what? I'm like, how am I supposed to get an A in chemistry, a class I failed twice? Biology, get an A with a class I failed once already before. Like, this is like expecting unreal expectations of me. Like, I'm never going to get into this school. And admissions had told me, well, they're like, if you even get 1B, you won't even be considered at our school. So, of course, it was like a stab in the heart because I was like, I will never, like, I screwed up so bad that I'll never get into nursing school. Like, it's not even a possibility for me. So, instead of me, feeling so bad about it, I decided to go to school and work my ass off. So, I went back to school in December. I took my 4 classes, and it was chemistry, biology, my English 2, and I think sociology I had to take. And I worked so hard, and people said I was crazy for even taking bio and chemistry together in one semester. And I was like, I can't, like, I'm on a roll. I'm already 24, and I just want to get done. So what happened was I got through that semester, ended up with 4 A's by, like, the skin of my teeth. It was like I shocked myself. And so to kind of speed up things, I had known this school was about to open, like, a spring semester. So to speed things up, that summer I had decided to take 3 classes, and if you don't know how summer classes go in college, it's 8 weeks instead of 16 weeks, so it goes a lot faster. And I decided to take micro and anatomy 1, and I took a statistics class. And let me tell you, like, that semester went so fast, and again, my advisor told me, she's like, are you sure you want to take these 3 classes? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. I think I got this. And what happened was I actually got 2 A's and 1 B, but the 1 B I had gotten was not to get into the nursing program. It was just to get my associates. So that didn't count, so it was okay that I got the B in that class. So then I went into fall 2017, and I had 4 more classes. I had AMP2, I had I didn't have microbiology. I had biology. It was just a general biology class that I was taking because I was getting my associates, and it was just an extra course. And statistics I was taking. And that was probably my hardest semester because I knew that I was so close to getting a 4.0 ready to go to the school, which I never would have even thought about doing. So what happened was, I get to the end of the semester, mid-semester, and sure enough, the school that I really wanted to go to, that they already told me, like, you better have a 4.0 when you're trying to get in here, they had opened up applications for a brand new spring semester, and I had, like, freaked out. I was like, oh my god, I actually have a chance of getting into this school. So what happened was I emailed the advisor, I emailed her everything I had. I said, this is my transcript from my last school, and this is my transcript from now. I said, is there any way or any possibility that I could still get into your program? And she said, you know what? She said, we understand that people go through hard times. And lucky for me, a few of my classes didn't count anymore because they were done more than 5 years ago. So I applied about, I think, October 1st. No, I think it was around October 1st that I applied, and I had to have my HUSI done. So I had to study for my HUSI. I had to take the reading and comprehension and the math part. So I took those 2 tests. I got above the 80, thank God, because I took it the last possible day, which I don't recommend. And I can do a whole video on how to get into nursing school and how to apply and stuff. So yeah, I took it the last minute. Don't take it the last minute like I did, because it was really stressful, because you're allowed to take it twice, but I would not have even gave myself enough time to be able to take it again. So took the HESI, got the 80. I think I actually got like 100. I think I got 100 on the math and like a 90 something on the English, which I was scared of because I'm not good at the English part. So after that, I had to wait like a month before I figured out if I got into the school, and I was just praying so hard that I would get in, because I went from a 1.9 to a 4.0, and I was like, I'm just hoping they look past, you know, my past mistakes. And sure enough, I had gotten the letter and an email, and tears just rushed out of my eyes, because I was like, oh my God, like, I can't believe that I worked this hard and it was like, this happened. Like, I was able to do this. I came from the bottom of the scale, being a screw up, being able to, like, I never being able to pass a class, not understanding what was going on in class, like exams that were just too hard for me. And, you know, being able to turn my life around and being able to get into nursing school and being able to make more accomplishments as I've been going on. So I got into nursing school. I just finished my first semester last semester, which I started last spring in January, and I passed that. Ended up getting a 3.56 GPA because nursing grading scale. But just to even think about it now, like, I don't even know, like, who I was when I was getting the 1.9. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about, and to think that my last semester of college, before I had left, I had gotten a 0.9. A 0.9, which is crazy to me now, because now I don't study, and I'm like, wow. Like, I don't know. I get anxiety from not studying now. So I don't, like, I feel like we live and we learn, and we keep growing as we get older. And what the point of this video is never to let your failures define who you are. Because if I would have let every single failure define me, I wouldn't be sitting here making this video for you, and I wouldn't be sitting here feeling, I don't know, I wouldn't want to, I feel good about it. It's a feeling that I don't know how to explain. But yeah, don't let your failures define who you are. Just keep working towards your goals. Write them down. Talk about them to other people. Write them on your wall. Scream them out loud. And just tell someone. Whatever you need to do to make your dreams come true, just keep on going. Because you failed, it doesn't mean that you'll fail again. It just means that maybe you just weren't ready at the moment. Maybe you just didn't have that drive. But if you have that fire going and you know you want this, then just work at it and keep working. And yes, there's nights you're going to cry so bad. And there's going to be exams or, you know, during whatever you need to do where you really are upset about it. But whatever it is, just keep working. Keep working towards it, because the second you give up, it's gone and it'll disappear until you start working again. So yeah, so if there's I'm making this video so long, but anyway, that's what I want to sit down and talk to you about. This was my first video, and I felt like since school's about to start, you know, we would talk about some inspirational things to get your semester going good, because you always got to start off on the right foot. And if anything I've realized from being in school is you got to just start the first day. Get on the road running, because this year is going to be a great year. And for all my nursing students out there, this is going to be a great semester, okay? We're going to do really good. You know, we're not going to worry about the nursing grading scale. We're just going to, you know what? We're just going to keep on going. Alright, anyways, I will talk to you soon. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I will see y'all later.